Hi, I'm Alli Reed. I'm the founder of Stratia, and today we're talking about all of the Stratia products, what they do, how to use them, and the science behind them. To start off, I want to give a brief overview of the science of the skin and how it's structured. There are two main sections of the skin that we want to focus on. The first is the epidermis, which is the outermost layer. The epidermis has a few different layers to it. The deepest layer is called the stratum basale, or the basal layer. That is made of essentially stem cells that can replicate themselves over and over and over again. And those are constantly creating new skin cells, kind of like creating bubbles that rise up through the ocean of your skin. So those are starting out by creating blank skin cells, essentially, that rise up throughout the layers of the skin. The next layer is called the stratum spinosum, or the spiny layer, and it's when those skin cells create these little spines that stick into each other. It's sort of a fence, a chain link fence to hold your skin in place. The next layer above that is the stratum granulosum, where each skin cell loses its innards, its nuclei, and gets replaced entirely with keratin, which is the hard protein that your fingernails are made out of. You know, the fingernail is really strong, but it's also really flexible, which is exactly what you want out of your skin. The final layer where all skin cells end up is the stratum corneum, which we might know better as the moisture barrier. This is the outermost layer. It's generally 10 to 30 skin cells deep, and it is a bunch of flat, sort of dinner plate shaped skin cells that are filled with that keratin that are held together by this fatty mixture, bricks and mortar kind of structure. And that's what keeps our skin intact. It's what keeps the outsides outside and the insides inside, which is the whole point of the skin to begin with. This entire journey from stratum basale to stratum corneum only takes about a month, and it is constantly happening. You are constantly shedding skin cells. New ones are being born. They're rising through those layers, shedding off for the rest of your life. Below the epidermis is the dermis, and that's sort of the scaffolding of your skin. It's just a mixture of elastin and collagen that gives your skin its structure, its bounciness, and that's what starts to break down as you age, which is why you get skin sagging, why you get some fine lines and wrinkles. So that's another really important structure to the skin. I'm now going to walk you through all of the Stratia products, give you a little bit of background on how I formulated them, what the science is behind it, and how you should integrate it into your routine. First up is Velvet Cleansing Milk. This is a gentle, non-foaming cream cleanser that's great for all skin types and especially really sensitive or dry skin. To give a bit of background, all cleansers work on the magic of this type of molecule called a surfactant, which stands for surface active agent. It's called a surfactant, and it is this double-sided molecule. One side is drawn to oil and one side is drawn to water. When you apply a surfactant to your face, one side binds to all of the oil and grease and grime that you've accumulated throughout the day. And then when you rinse it, the other side binds with water, and it just washes everything away really cleanly. So that's the basis of every cleanser out there. Velvet Cleansing Milk in particular uses really gentle surfactants because some of the oils on your face are really important. You know, I talked about that stratum corneum structure, that fatty mixture that fills in all the gaps between them. You don't want to strip that away. That's what I formulated Velvet Cleansing Milk to do, to find that really fine line between gentle enough for your skin and powerful enough to really cleanse deeply. You can use Velvet Cleansing Milk once or twice a day. If you have drier skin like I do, I prefer to only cleanse in the evening, and in the morning, just rinse my face with water. If you have oilier skin or you wake up feeling really grimy, you can definitely use it twice a day. It's gentle enough to use however feels best for your skin. Next up is C+C serum, which is our vitamin C antioxidant serum. A little bit about how antioxidants work. So every atom in our body has a center of protons and neutrons and then electrons orbiting the outside. Electrons love to be in pairs. They are super codependent. And an oxidation reaction is when one of those electrons gets knocked off. That electron, that solo electron, will find a pair wherever it can. That means it can scavenge it from your DNA, from other biological structures, can really wreak havoc on your skin, on your body. Oxidation reactions can come from UV radiation from the sun, from pollution, from smoking, can come from a lot of different environmental factors. Antioxidants are these magical molecules that will come in and they'll actually donate an electron to those oxidized molecules without becoming oxidized themselves. They give that solo electron a partner, and then they both go on their merry, non-reactive way. That means that antioxidants are really great for mitigating damage from the sun, from pollution, just from living your daily life. C+C serum is our antioxidant superstar serum. It is formulated with 2 kinds of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, which is the pure form of vitamin C, as well as an oil-soluble derivative, ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. That means that it's kind of getting your skin from 2 different directions, water-soluble and oil-soluble. We also threw in CoQ10, which is another incredible antioxidant. We put all of that into a waterless silicone base, which means that those antioxidants will stay stable on your shelf for over a year. If you've ever used a water-based ascorbic acid serum, you know that it can turn brown really quickly. You might need to store it in your fridge. That's not the case with C+C serum. You can store it at room temperature and it stays totally stable. When you apply it, that silicone base actually evaporates off your skin out in a couple of minutes, just leaving behind those really potent antioxidants. You would use this once a day, maybe once every other day if your skin is sensitive. Use it in the morning, and it can actually help sort of work synergistically with your sunscreen to protect you from sun damage. Next up is Soft Touch AHA, our mandelic acid serum. AHA stands for alpha hydroxy acid. That is a class of chemical exfoliant that can actually loosen the bonds between the dead skin cells on the surface of your skin. It helps them shed off naturally to reveal brighter, smoother skin. It's great for rough skin texture. It's great for hyperpigmentation and other skin tone issues. It's also really great at unclogging pores to help with blemishes. Our Soft Touch AHA is really special among all of the AHAs out there. Most AHAs on the market use ingredients like glycolic acid or lactic acid, which are really strong, really harsh. They can cause a lot of unnecessary irritation. They can also cause a really bizarre side effect in darker skin tones where they actually cause hyperpigmentation, which is really ironic if you're using it to help fade hyperpigmentation. Mandelic acid is a much larger molecule than glycolic or lactic acid, which means it doesn't penetrate as deeply, so it causes a lot less irritation. And AHAs don't need to penetrate deeply. They're exfoliating the very surface of your skin, so penetrating deeply just means it's causing more irritation in deeper levels of your skin. Mandelic acid also does not have that potential side effect of causing hyperpigmentation in dark skin tones, so it's safe for all skin tones to use. Soft Touch AHA you can use anywhere from a couple times a week to every day. It just depends on how hardy your skin is, how much it loves chemical exfoliation. It really varies person to person, so I recommend starting out twice a week and then increasing usage as your skin adjusts, keeping a really close eye out for irritation. You would use it in the evening after cleansing, put it on clean, bare skin, wait a few minutes before your next product in your skincare routine. Next up, we have Rewind, which is our hydrating vitamin-rich serum. Rewind was one of the first products I formulated for Stratia, and I really kind of went at it with the idea of everything but the kitchen sink. I threw in every product that I thought might help hydrate, might help firm the skin, really rewind the visible effects of aging. The superstars of Rewind are niacinamide and DMAE. Niacinamide is a superstar. It does everything. It's an antioxidant. It regulates cell turnover. It can firm the skin. It is great for strengthening the moisture barrier. DMAE is a really interesting, underutilized ingredient that in studies not only firmed the skin and reduced the appearance of fine lines, but those benefits stayed in place even after, weeks after, the people in the study stopped using DMAE. It isn't just a temporary thing. Beyond niacinamide and DMAE, I stuck in everything that I liked. There are a bunch of botanical extract like Centella asiatica and licorice root, a ton of different hydrators, humectants, emollients, anything I could think of that would help hydrate and firm the skin. Rewind is a really gentle serum. It's hydrating, plumping, firming. You can use it twice a day or even more if you want. You would use it earlier in your routine because it is a really lightweight serum and you want to order your routine thinnest to thickest in terms of texture. After Rewind, next in your routine would come Fortify, which is our obsessively researched facial oil. Basically, all plant and animal fats and oils have a triglyceride structure, which is 3 fatty acids on a glycerol base. The reason each oil feels a little different, has slightly different characteristics, and how it affects your skin is based on what those 3 fatty acids are. When I formulated Fortify, I spent a lot of time in an Excel spreadsheet, just looking at the fatty acid profiles of different plant oils, what percent was oleic versus linoleic versus stearic acid, making sure that it was totally balanced between all of the major types of fatty acids, including the essential fatty acids, which are fatty acids that your skin can't create itself. All of that work in Excel landed me with Fortify, which is a medium weight facial oil that is hyper nourishing, really healing, and it's so good to give your skin that glow. I find facial oils work best when you use them after any lightweight serums, but before your moisturizer. So still follow that routine of using products thinnest to thickest. You just want to use a couple of drops of Fortify, pat it into your skin, and move on to your next product. Next up, we have Liquid Gold, our lightweight skin strengthening moisturizer. Remember from early in the video, I was talking about the stratum corneum, the outermost layer of your skin that has this bricks and mortar structure where the bricks are those flat keratin-based skin cells. The mortar is this fatty mixture of ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. That fatty mixture is what keeps your skin healthy, waterproof, flexible, helps it fight off bacteria and pollution. When that moisture barrier is compromised, which can happen from overexfoliation, being exposed to the elements like too much sun or wind, really harsh cleansers, moisture barrier can become damaged, leading to skin that's hypersensitive, simultaneously flaky and oily, really prone to breakouts. Liquid Gold I formulated specifically to reinforce that moisture barrier. So it's formulated with ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids to strengthen it and really make sure it's functioning to its full potential. You can use Liquid Gold as much as you want, twice a day or more, depending on what your skin needs. You would use it like a regular moisturizer, or you can add it to a facial oil. You can mix it with your regular moisturizer. I love using it as a night cream by mixing it with a little bit of Aquaphor or your favorite skin ointment. Finally, we have Night Shift, which is our retinol night cream. Retinoids are a class of molecules that include retinol, and they are incredible for the skin. They do so much, and we honestly don't totally understand why they do so much. But they can regulate cell turnover, they unclog pores, they stimulate collagen growth, which can give you that youthful, bouncy skin. The main issue with retinol is that it's really unstable. It can break down really easily, so it's important to have a formula that keeps it really safe and protected. STRAH-tee-uh's formula uses an encapsulated retinol, so it takes the retinol and then surrounds it in a lipid layer that keeps it totally safe so that it's super stable. That lipid sphere also helps it penetrate more deeply because remember, your skin is protected by this fatty mixture, so oils can penetrate much more deeply. That sphere also breaks down over time, so you get this time release effect of encapsulated retinol, so that you'll be getting a slow release of retinol all throughout the night. So I knew I wanted to use this encapsulated retinol and then created a formula around it where it's a really nourishing, calming formula because retinol can be really irritating. So I made sure to include things like ceramides, things like Centella asiatica, things that really heal and calm your skin to mitigate any irritation that you might encounter. You can use it every night. You might want to start out every other night or twice a week if you've never used a retinol before, but you can move up to using it every night. It's super hydrating, super gentle, and really great for waking up with a beautiful glow. It's great for people who don't have a ton of experience with retinol, but it's also powerful enough that even people who use different retinols can see a lot of benefit from it. Retinol can be really irritating, so even though it's in a really gentle formula, it's always best to start slow with potential irritants. Now I'm going to talk through a few potential routine suggestions for different skin concerns. If you have hyperpigmentation, that is caused by certain spots of your skin overproducing melanin and creating those dark spots. What you want to do is use products that regulate melanin production and can get it back to a really even skin tone. For hyperpigmentation, there are 3 products in particular I would recommend. Rewind is great for really gently regulating melanin production, so this is an especially great choice if you have hyperpigmentation and really sensitive skin. C+C and Night Shift are 2 melanin regulating superstars. Ascorbic acid and retinoids are amazing at fading hyperpigmentation. You would just use C+C in the morning and Night Shift in the evening. What if you are really prone to blemishes and breakouts? Breakouts are caused by so many different factors. It's really hard to narrow it down and depends so much on your unique skin. That said, there are 2 common ways to go about addressing it. If your blemishes are caused by clogged pores, there are 2 Stratia superstars that can help with that: Soft Touch AHA and Night Shift. Soft Touch with its 10% mandelic acid is so good at exfoliating dense skin cells. Retinoids are amazing at clearing out clogged pores and evening overall skin tone. It's also possible that your breakouts are caused by just an unhealthy skin barrier that can't fight off the bacteria that cause acne. In that case, I would highly recommend Liquid Gold, which was formulated specifically to reinforce that moisture barrier, get it up to its tip-top health, and make sure that it is strong enough to fight off all of those pathogens, pollution, grease, and grime that are going to cause those breakouts. When we talk about aging skin, there are 2 main things we want to talk about: intrinsic and extrinsic aging. Intrinsic is your skin just getting older. There's no fighting that, so let's just embrace it. Extrinsic is caused by external factors like UV radiation, pollution, and smoking. So the most important anti-aging product you can use is sunscreen. Beyond that, there are a few Stratia products that can really help fight off those visible signs of aging and undo some of that extrinsic damage that is going to age your skin prematurely. C+C is amazing for undoing sun damage, undoing free radical damage, fading sunspots, and hyperpigmentation. Rewind is amazing at firming and plumping the skin, at fading fine lines and wrinkles, and just giving you that youthful, bouncy glow to your skin. And of course, retinoids are the anti-aging all-star. You absolutely want a retinoid in your life if aging is a concern. Night Shift is especially great because it's such a non-irritating retinoid that you can use it every day and do that sort of preventative maintenance. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, we have a bunch of blog posts on our website, stratiaskin.com. If you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below. I would love to address them on our next video.